Welcome to Daily Devo. I'm Pat. Today we're going to talk about the power of habits. All our life is but a mass of habits. The fact is, most of the choices we make each day may feel like the products of well-considered decision-making, but they're not. That phrase was actually written by a psychologist in 1892. Recent research indicates how true this is. In 2006, a university researcher found that more than 40% of the actions that people performed each day weren't actual decisions, but habits. Wow! That means nearly half of the things that you and I do every day aren't things that we really think about anymore. They're what we might call habits. With this in mind, it's probably helpful to understand what a habit is. One definition of a habit is this: the choices that all of us deliberately make at some point and then stop thinking about, but continue doing often every day. Scientists say that habits emerge because the brain is constantly looking for ways to save effort. So here's 5 principles about habits that are critical for you and me to keep in mind. If you're a note taker, you may want to get a pencil ready or maybe your online note-taking tool ready. Listen closely to these because in some ways, your destiny and my destiny are closely tied to these principles. Principle number 1, we don't drift toward better habits. The reverse side of principle number 1 is principle number 2. Principle number 2, bad habits are like a comfortable bed. They're easy to get into, but hard to get out of. The next principle, principle number 3, adds to the fact that it takes far more effort and energy to move from bad habits to good habits. Principle number 3, the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Unfortunately, individuals and organizations live that one out all the time, doing the same old thing over and over and over and hoping to get a different result. Principle number 4 is a reminder of why habits are so important. Principle number 4, every choice has a domino effect. Nick Saban, a well-known football coach, said it this way: this is what character is, the accumulation of thoughts and habits and priorities, what you think, what you do, and what you think is important. The Apostle Paul, a fairly well-known theologian, said it this way. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, he said, "Don't be misled. You cannot mock the justice of God. You will always harvest what you plant." Other translations say it this way: you reap what you sow. Plant good habits and you will harvest good things. Plant bad habits and you will harvest bad things. It's not too far off to say that your destiny and my destiny have much to do with the habits we form, or as Paul says, the things we plant. Okay, here's the good news. Habits aren't final. Habits with some effort can be ignored or changed or replaced. Which brings us to principle number 5. Principle number 5, everything we change changes everything. The habits you and I have, those things we do every day that we no longer even think about, affect so many other things in our lives. Listen to that principle again. Everything we change changes everything. You don't want to miss the next few weeks of our Daily Devos as we unpack some of the things that God tells us in here about our rhythms and routines and habits. Oh, and he has so much to say about this. Why? Because I'm not exaggerating when I say you have the ability to change your life if you will shift some of your rhythms and routines, which will eventually change some of your habits. This is why Paul told his young charge, Timothy, in 1 Timothy 4:7, he said, train yourself to be godly. In other words, it's not going to just happen. You must train yourself. You must develop spiritual habits. Why? In the next verse, Paul will actually say physical training is good, but training for godliness is much better, promising benefits not just in this life, but the life to come. Change your habits, and you change your life. Change your habits, and you change your life.